Hey there! We're back with test 4. Test 4, test 4, test 4. Testing 4. All right. Of course, we're going to start with the little mini doubles. Carolus, Linnaeus. I bet you this guy got the shit kicked out of him in school with a name like Carolus. Yeah. All right, so let's see what no blurb. So let's see what the passage has to say. The 18th century botanist, no. The 18th century botanist, Carolus Linnaeus' enormous and essential contribution to natural history was to devise a system of classification. Okay, so obviously this is about this guy. What did he do? He devised a system of classification. Yes, that became an overall plan. Okay, and was this a good thing? Well, he says it's enormous and essential. This is very good. Okay? So passage 1 is about Carolus Linnaeus making this great contribution, devising a system of classification. Okay? And then at the end it says, unfortunately, this truth was not apparent to his immediate successors, who for the next 100 years were to concern themselves almost exclusively with classification. Well, his successors fucked something up, okay? So apparently Carolus Linnaeus became famous a little bit later. I'm a heretic about Linnaeus, which means he goes against it. I do not dispute the value of the tool he gave natural science, but I am wary about the change it has affected it has affected on humans' relationship to the world. Okay, so what does he say? Valuable, but what's the problem? It affected the way humans look at the world. Okay, now, what does it say at the end? And notice this shit. Very personal, yes? All right, now, at the end, they are social creatures, and their society in turn supports other species of plants, insects, birds, mammals, and microorganisms, all of which make up the whole experience of the woods. All right, whatever. Anyway, this guy is a heretic. He says Linnaeus gave something of value, but the result is a little fucked up. Okay? You know, I was just talking to the PD about how I don't drop shit anymore, but apparently I do. Okay, moving on. Gunk. First question. Compared to the author of passage 2, what do we know? What do we know? Fuck this. The author of passage 1 regards Linnaeus with more. Passage 1 regards Linnaeus with, passage 1 says Linnaeus is the man. Negative, negative, negative. I love this word. We're going to choose that? Yeah. Now, the trick might be nostalgia. Nostalgia meaning what? Yeah, I remember those days, right? He was alive when Linnaeus was alive? Unlikely. He appreciates Linnaeus more. You know, I'm choosing appreciation almost every time I see it if I'm guessing. I look at this list and I go, appreciation. Might be tempted by nostalgia, but appreciation rocks. Okay? Unlike the author of passage, the author of passage 2 makes use of, well, what does the author of passage 2 make use of? Scientific data. We see that right away. Yes, just look through. What do you see? You see I, and we noticed that earlier, so we got to think, okay, personal voice. Now, let's go back to the passage 1. Does he use personal voice? You see any I? You see any I? I don't see any I. No I. D, personal voice. Woohoo! 2 easy questions. Both passages, now, what does this mean? Again, we know A equals B. Okay, so passage 1 equals 2. Emphasize which of the following aspects of Linnaeus' work. Now, we know they both think he's good. Okay, A thinks he's good, B thinks he's good, but the results are a little messed up. Now, I love that shit. Yes? I like that shit. I like that shit. Kinds, okay? So, we look at 8. What do we see? The extent to which and the degree. Are they similar? I fucking think so. The extent to which and the degree, okay? Now, it contributed to natural science, and what does this say? Which it revived interest in biology. Let's take a look. Is it biology? Let's read the first sentence. I am a heretic about Linnaeus. Okay. I do not dispute the value of the tool he gave natural science. Passage 2. Passage 1. The 18th century botanist, different voice, Carolus Linnaeus, enormous and essential contributor to natural history. Would that be natural science? Sure, it wouldn't be biology. So we can say, fucking biology's out. Okay. Yeah? Let's pause and think. This is fucking easy. That's what we should think right now. This is easy. Yes? It is. I'm way different live than I am on video, by the way. Not way, but there's different aspects of me that you haven't seen. The disciplinarian. The author of passage 1 would most likely respond to the opening of passage 2 by arguing that the author of passage 2 has. Okay, what the fuck is this? Let's figure this out. The author of passage 1 is going to respond to passage 2 by saying what? Okay. What is the author of passage 1 going to say? Well, let's see what the author of passage 2 says. I'm a heretic about Linnaeus. Okay. Then what does it say here? Well, what do we say we would do here? The author of passage 2 is not going to address something that passage 1 does, right? Okay. So what's the topic? Here, sorry, wrong way. Here it says he did this, okay? But what's the problem? Unfortunately, the truth was not apparent to his immediate successors, right? Who what? Who for the next 100 years were to concern themselves almost exclusively with classification. Yes? Now, what does he say? From Linnaeus on, much of science has been devoted to sorting masses into individual entities and arranging the entities neatly. The cost of having done this, da-da-da, da-da-da, right? So what's he saying? Linnaeus caused all this problem. Yes? What's the result? The cost of having so successfully itemized and pigeonholed nature is to limit certain possibilities of seeing and apprehending. Okay? So, what's he saying? He's a heretic. He's against Linnaeus somehow. He says the tool is valuable, but the change it affected on humans comes after it. Yes?